to the Inspiration Station, your Everyday Edge podcast. I'm your host, Mr. U. Glad to have you back here with us today. If you're new to the broadcast, thanks again for watching and listening, for joining us. You can find our work on every listening platform, specifically Apple Podcasts. You can download our episodes to our show. All three of our exclusive moving podcasts, One-on-One with Mr. U, the Inspiration Station that you're watching right now, and our Men's Roundtable Series podcast. If either one of those interests you, you can find my Apple Podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. Let us know how you're enjoying the show, what's resonating with you, what kind of questions you have. And of course, our YouTube channel is also available. It's growing very, very well. Definitely appreciate your insights there and your support there and comments there. All of our audio episodes can be found on the YouTube channel, youtube.com @ They Call Me Mr. U. And of course, if you are watching right now, we have a right-hand corner of your screen, the QR code. You can grab that so you can get all of our previous episodes of the Inspiration Station. So thanks again for watching and listening. Appreciate the support. Grab that chat and comment section. Love to hear your thoughts on today's episode. We'll be going back into the Wholeness series again. 2 episodes before this one, just in case you're following us. Today we're talking about emotional maturity. Today we're going to take responsibility and leave shame. Put that in the comment section. Put that in the chat real quick if you can. Take responsibility, leave shame. Everything in life requires an exchange. For you to take joy, you got to leave sorrow. You can't have both. To take wholeness, you got to leave brokenness. Today we're going to take responsibility and we're going to leave shame behind. Now, ownership with self-rejection will always be a limit to someone's growth or trajectory, without question. I really feel like to be emotionally mature covers so many bases. I hope we can touch it all while we have time on this show to do so. Hopefully we can. But there's just so many things in it. It's about, having honest, consistent boundaries. It's about having self-respect, having care for other people, even care for yourself. You can't be emotionally mature and your car look like trash. You can't be emotionally mature and your house look like a bomb hit it. Emotional maturity has a lot of things, have a lot of factors that don't all speak to, oh, I'm a teacher. Oh, I'm on this platform as a professional speaker. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I have 9 businesses. Those can be signs of emotional maturity, but they're not the only sign of emotional maturity. There are other things that need to be shown as well. Other things that need to be taking place. We're going to get into that a little bit. I really feel like if you want to be effective in any kind of arena, we talk about self-awareness and emotional intelligence, something that we have seen research and data on. It's definitely an incredible topic because it means a lot. For example, if I go to a fast food spot, I have done that before, not really much of that these days. Just lifestyle changes, if you will. But if you go into a fast food place and you see somebody standing at the front of the line with their hands out, screaming, stomping their feet, throwing straws at the person who's taking their order, is that person emotionally intelligent or emotionally deficient? There's a lot of emotions. You can see them and hear them, or everybody can't even eat their food. They have to stop eating and turn and look at the person because of the scene that they're making. So emotion is not the problem. Is it emotional intelligence or is it emotional deficiency? I believe that we talked about self-awareness on a previous installment of the Wholeness series. I really believe that self-awareness is a process. You're not a finished product. People out here, some of these, I call them kooky people, they'll convince you that they are self-aware, tying themselves to trees and telling you how aware they are. Don't care about nothing else but their cause and their belief and, don't forget, and their truth. But self-awareness is not a finished product for us. It's a work in progress. I believe that if you know good, you do good. If you know better, you do better. Whew, already feel like I'm stepping on toes already. Let's get into this a little bit. We talked about self-awareness and identity on previous installments. Now we're talking about getting more into emotional maturity. What is that? It's basically the ability to take responsibility for your feelings and choices and responses without falling into guilt and shame. I don't know if you know anybody who does this, but if somebody bumps into you, steps on your foot, or throws a rock at you and it hits you and it hurts you, or they just offend you because they're trying to keep it real. Do you know anybody who has done that and they actually apologize to you sincerely, look you in the eye and sincerely apologize to you and didn't say my bad? We're in the my bad generation right now. I hit you with my car, my bad. I looked at my phone, I didn't see you walking in front of my car. We're in the my bad generation right now. That's not emotional maturity. I know that people don't want to say sorry because maybe they think it makes them sound weak. So my bad sounds cooler and tougher. Is that what we're doing right now? Is that what we are in 2026? Is that what we're doing? I wasn't aware that's what we were doing. Is that what's happening? Be able to be emotionally mature is you looking at the person and saying, "Hey, I'm really sorry for what I did. I didn't realize that I hurt you. I humbly apologize to you." And then you deal with that. Not my bad and keep on walking. Like the person's life you just dramatically affected didn't matter. Emotional maturity is the ability to take responsibility for your feelings and your choices and your responses without guilt, without shame, and especially without an attitude. Honestly, it really separates emotional maturity, by the way. It separates somebody who's just living in a reactive place or somebody who's living intentionally. I want to get into what it looks like to have those kind of feelings and deal with that and still have your peace and your dignity. Emotional maturity is not pretending everything is fine when it's not. That's not what that means. It doesn't mean suppressing and hiding what you're dealing with. People think that. I see it a lot in ministry. I see it a lot in community circles. They hide what they're going through because they think it makes them more mature and more put together. Emotional maturity is not lashing out at other people like the person did in the fast food restaurant, in my analogy. It's the ability to recognize your emotions. You know what? I didn't have a good amount of sleep last night. I didn't rest well. I can't come into this coffee place and jump on somebody if they mess up my order. I gotta be ready that if they make a mistake, I can handle this with grace, get my coffee, and go ahead and get to work or get to my next destination. Recognize, be in touch with your emotions. That's emotional maturity. Understand why you feel the way you do. Don't blame somebody for your feelings because you can't do that. Don't say, "Oh, my mother was like this," or "My father was like this." That person tried my nerves because they put sugar in my coffee and I didn't want no sugar. Understand why you feel the way you do and address that, deal with that. And then lastly, get in alignment with your value system. If you don't have a value system, separate conversation we might need to have, or you might need to have with somebody you trust. We need to all have some kind of value system. Get into alignment with that. Respond to the situation that's bothering you by getting in alignment with your values. What do your values say is the appropriate response to the situation you're dealing with? Something to think about. Emotional maturity is a focus for leaders across history. It's not something brand new. There have been many studies about self-awareness and self-regulation and how it's been a key predictor for somebody's success personally and professionally. Plenty of studies out there for this. I believe that leaders who, and this is my opinion, this is not based on a study or analysis, this is something that I see that I believe. Leaders who can manage their emotional responses consistently, they're going to outperform everybody else who just deals with raw intellect and raw gut emotions. I really believe that. The person who leaves, who is quote unquote off the chain and who flies by the seat of their pants and goes with how they feel. They don't feel good, they'll shut the whole organization down that day. If they're feeling good, everybody going to work extra hours. That person is never going to successfully outperform somebody who is in touch with their emotions and manages their emotional responses to things. Because I don't care if it's a business, a ministry, community organization of any kind, anything, coaching, entrepreneurship, whatever it is, you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. You're going to have lefts and rights. It's guaranteed to happen. The challenge is how we handle it, how we adjust as leaders. That's what's going to determine if we're going to have personal and professional success or not. There's a mindset that came out of ancient Greece. I believe the Stoics kind of coined the idea or emphasized the idea: control what you can and your thoughts and your reactions, and accept what you cannot change. You can decide how much you agree with that, what parts of that you agree with. I can see why some folks may not agree with that completely and totally, but I believe that emotional maturity is all about ownership. Not controlling everything that's around you. It's about taking ownership of what you're dealing with. That's what a mature person does. If you know that you're this close away from having a situation, maybe you shouldn't go into the coffee shop that day. I know you want coffee, but maybe you need to try to find a different route to get what you need. Maybe get your coffee from the job. It's not going to be filled with cream and sugar and all of those sprinkles and stuff, but get your coffee from the job. If you just know that somebody can do something wrong, a young person can make a mistake behind the counter, the barista might not make it quite right. If you think that's going to trigger you to have the worst day in history, don't go into the coffee shop today. Forego that. Just don't be mature. Don't put yourself in that spot if you know. I know that, for example, being transparent, I know how many hours of sleep I need to kind of be at that reasonably optimum level. I know the number. If I have that number, I'm good. If I have anything less than that, I recognize that I'm a little bit off. I probably shouldn't be carrying heavy equipment. I probably shouldn't be driving either. I recognize I shouldn't be in deep conversations. Somebody wants to talk to me. If I have a spiritual son that wants to come talk to me, or somebody wants to talk to me about something deep, business-wise, entrepreneurship, or venture, an opportunity of some sort, I'm going to say, let's table that for 24 hours. Get back to you tomorrow. I know today it ain't going to be good. I ain't going to process it right. I ain't going to receive it well. I'm going to miss something. I'm going to be distracted. My focus is going to be off because I didn't get enough rest. That's being emotionally mature. Not just plowing through life, doing things the way you want to do it, not caring about the damage that you cause. That's what an emotionally immature person does. And we see that all around us all the time. People make snap decisions, people who are leaders or people who are just a part of our communities. And they just make decisions. They don't care about the aftermath. They don't care how somebody feels. They don't care about the impact of their words. That's not an emotionally mature person. Let's look at emotional maturity from the standpoint of Joseph. I love sharing this story. I've done it many times, and forgive me if you heard it multiple times, but you're going to hear it again. It's important to the Wholeness series. In the book of Genesis, Joseph's life was just laid out. He was betrayed by his brothers to the point that they were jealous of him and threw him into a pit and told their father that he was eaten by a wild beast. Threw him into a pit and left him there. Then said, you know what? We can profit more from him by selling him into slavery than just leaving him into a pit to die. Dire starvation, for the most part, which is really even more gruesome when you think about what they were thinking about. Sold him into slavery, so they got a profit from getting rid of their brother, their own flesh and blood. Then he got falsely accused of attempted rape and then thrown into prison for it. I don't see anywhere in scripture, I can't tell you how he felt, but I don't see anywhere in scripture where it says that he was angry and bitter and allowed them to control him and have him lash out in public places. It felt like he was in tune with who he was, what kind of feelings and emotions he was dealing with. He was in tune with that. And he chose to respond with integrity. He chose to respond with faithfulness. Why do you think every time he got an assignment, it was an assignment that there's no way he could have earned it? He was given assignments that were like top of the line assignments to manage and be an administrator over somebody's household, a rich person's household, to be in control of everything but the rich man's wife. He controlled that. Got promoted to being a governor, second to the most powerful man in the world. Controlled the resources of the entire world for the most part. How do you get that? Integrity, faithfulness, emotional maturity. That allowed him to do not only forgive what's been done to him, the wrongs, but also lead an entire nation out of a destructive famine and save his family in the process and his legacy. Tell me emotional maturity doesn't matter. Right now, where you are on your couch or in your car or walking or doing laundry or in your cubicle at work, right now, emotional maturity matters. Even right now, it makes a difference. You got a responsibility, even in that little small space. Leaders all around us fail emotionally. They make impulsive decisions. They alienate people, teams, communities. They damage relationships. On the other hand, you got somebody like a Nelson Mandela, who demonstrated profound emotional maturity. He was in prison for 27 years. I think that number's right. In prison for 27 years. And he chose understanding and wisdom over bitterness. He chose vision over being resentful. That emotional maturity, that discipline that he was showing us was a cornerstone of his leadership. He's become known for being one of the wisest, most profoundly intelligent, mature people in history. And his actions brought about the reconciliation of South Africa. You're probably thinking, what can what I do count? Why do I have to be emotionally mature? What's it going to matter? I'm in this job I don't like. I'm being a housewife and I'm not really enjoying that. I'm going to a church I'm not enjoying. I don't think I'm getting anything out of it. Or I'm in a community, in a city, in a state I don't really want to live in because I'm just bored. I'm just here. Your emotional maturity can create a legacy. I just gave you two examples of that, with Joseph and with Nelson Mandela. Your emotional health is just as important as your knowledge and your skill. Because when things change in your life, that's the one thing you can't afford to give up. People talk about your health and how there's no amount of money that can replace you having your health. That's pretty true. But your emotional health is important too. It affects how you respond to situations. We're in a day and time where everybody is easily offended and the opportunity for offense is constantly before us. If you're not emotionally healthy, you're going to fall into that trap and you're going to flip out. You're going to be one of the videos that my wife and I be watching at night laughing at people because you fell for the bait. You fell for the trick. And now you're a meme now. You're viral on social media for all the wrong reasons because you're not emotionally healthy. Think about this for a second. When was the last time you let your emotions dictate a decision and it backfired? Think about that. Write that in your journal, write that on your notepad and your index cards. When was the last time you let your emotions dictate a decision and it backfired? Even write it in the comments section, write it in the chat. When was the last time that happened, where your emotions dictated a decision and it didn't work out well for you? This week, before we close the episode out, this week, I want you to try a simple practice. We're going to try a trigger the truth framework. This is Coach You talking to you. You know how we do. Identify a moment. First off, identify a moment when you feel triggered. Identify one moment that you felt triggered. You have to put this in the chat if you don't want to. If you want to and you will be transparent, Good. Somebody would probably gain something from that. Identify a moment that you felt triggered. Then ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What am I actually feeling? Then identify your part in the situation. What's your role in this? Are you just a victim, or are you a contributor to the trigger that you're experiencing right now? And then, like we talked about the last time we got together, reassess your values and find a response that works, that's in alignment with your values. It keeps you on track with your goals, with your value system. Find a response to this triggering. What do you do? I'm going to get ahead of this and say it's probably not going to get your nails done or getting your hair done. It's probably not going to watch a funny movie so you can forget about it. Let's not use those examples. That's not the intentional response we're looking for. It has to align with your values, because we all get triggered at some point in time. What's your response to it? That response has to be aligned with your values. If you write these things down and start to walk through these situations that we've been doing through the Wholeness series, you're going to see patterns. You're going to see triggers. You're going to see areas where emotional maturity may be lacking, or where emotional maturity is developing. The whole goal is not perfection. It's not what we're trying to do through this Wholeness series. We're just talking about ownership, taking responsibility and dropping the shame. It's always about the exchange. You're picking up one thing and you're dropping the other. You're picking up responsibility and you're dropping the shame. Emotional maturity allows you to take responsibility without shame, respond without fear, and navigate life's challenges. And do it with composure and self-respect, with honor. So try that framework that we talked about. Identify a moment that you've been triggered. Ask yourself what you're feeling and why you're feeling this, perhaps. And then identify your part in the situation. You're not a victim. Everything bad is not happening to you and nobody else but you. What's your part in the situation? And then find a response that's aligned with your values. What's the appropriate response? What do you think would be the appropriate response? You guys joining us today on the Inspiration Station and your Everyday Edge podcast. Next episode, we're going to discuss small, consistent habits. We're going to get into habit training, habit forming. We're going to discuss how small, consistent habits in personal development are going to create breakthroughs for you. I see it with my own eyes, seen it in my own life. I believe it's going to be good for you. I might even give you a book recommendation too about the same topic. That's going to be fun. We're going to talk about how discipline, not motivation, drives lasting change. I'm going to say it again for those in the back. Don't want you to miss that part. Really important. It's not motivation. It's discipline that drives lasting change. People who are in their 30s and 40s who fail to walk in discipline. Sad testimonial, but guess what? We can change that today. So until then, own those feelings. Take ownership of those feelings. Reflect and respond intentionally. Respond accordingly. QR codes in the upper right-hand corner. We can get all of our shows on the Inspiration Station. And please, of course, go to Apple Podcasts, find our show, find the Inspiration Station or any of our other shows. Drop us a 5-star review. Let us know that you love us and you love what's coming out of our network. And of course, you can follow all the shows. Then, of course, our YouTube channel is available, youtube.com /They Call Me Mr. U. Love for you to jump inside there, subscribe to the channel, drop some comments there, check out some shows. Let us know what you think about it. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for listening to the Inspiration Station and your Everyday Edge podcast. I'm Mr. U. We're out. Have a good one.